I'm flying into New York. First day, super excited. Everything is a scam, bro. Took my money, everything, dude, everything. Damn. Still, man, I was so happy that I was in New York. Even though I fucked up here and there, I didn't listen, I was too naive, but I'm here, and now watch. Nothing is worse than knowing that you're lying to yourself. You're not supposed to be amazing immediately. You're not supposed to, that's not how it is. If I have the possibility, then I'm gonna do it, you know? Know that your word has value, has power.
You didn't know how to play the piano 2 years ago?
No, not at all. Not 2 years ago. It was more like 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I had no idea. I mean, still, to be honest, I don't know anything about notes, and
what?
I can't read, music. But I know, like, chords now. I kind of like picked up.
How many years ago did you pick it up?
Like 4. Like really, like I sat down and just like.
That's insane because I got trained classically growing up, like between the ages of probably like 5 and 13.
Nice. Oof.
But like I didn't like it. Like I was kind of just resenting just sitting down and learning. And back now I appreciate it because I know how to read music. I know the chords and everything. But looking at you play, bro, I would think that you knew how to read
thanks,
and
man.
play classically and everything like
thanks,
that.
Bro.
It's beautiful. It's so cool.
Yeah, like you're saying, like creativity, different forms of expression, and then like music is something since I was a kid was so close to me and dear to me, and with like training, you constantly listen to music, you tune in, you focus. So, and the piano, it's funny actually how I started. So this is how it started. So. My sister, she wanted to get into playing the guitar. Yeah. She already played the piano, but she wanted to get into playing the guitar. So I bought a guitar for her for her birthday. She used it one day and then threw it away. I'm like,
what?
okay,
she threw it away?
Yeah. I mean, you know what I mean. I just tossed it. Yeah. So she's like, and so I was like, I was telling her, come on, like, if you want to do something, you gotta keep practicing. It's not just gonna happen after one day. She's like, well, if you you talk about it so highly, why don't you do it? Why don't you start playing an instrument? I'm like, okay. Yeah. What do you want me to learn? He's like, play the piano. I'm like, okay, sounds good. So I just, that's how I started. I started playing. Yeah. So
why did your parents not want you to get into like instruments and stuff?
It's not necessarily that they didn't want to, but like I was so busy with like sports. I like didn't have enough time. Yeah. Even though I wanted to, and like. My father never really focused on that. It was always like competition and like sports and just like having your schedule. For example, dude, on Saturdays I had in the mornings 7-8 I had swimming and competitively swimming. Then at noon that Saturday I had football, so soccer, so full game, and then in the evening I had sparring. And one day, taekwondo.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So like I was like I hated. Everybody was so excited about Fridays. I hated Fridays because I knew I had to go. Yeah, I had to go sleep early, and I knew I had to wake up.
Did your parents put you in all those sports, or did you desire to play all those things and do all those things?
My dad was a huge influence, but me too. Ever since I was a kid, this guy over here, bro.
Well, let's go, Bruce Lee.
Yeah. So that's how it all started. So ever since I was a kid, I was a very active dude. Yeah. Very energetic. I didn't know what to do with my energy, so like sports was really like a heaven for me. So
what was your favorite, I guess, like type of movement or sport?
Martial arts.
Martial arts.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
What type of martial arts?
So taekwondo was me and my brother were in the national taekwondo demonstration team.
A lot of kicking, right?
Yeah, a lot of kicking. Yeah, and this is before taekwondo became what it is now in the Olympic discipline. It's not the same. It really changed and kind of got corny, to be honest. So like taekwondo, just in general, martial arts like boxing, judo.
Yeah, I know it's kind of corny, but in the last few years when people talk about it, but I listened to Rogan talk about taekwondo a lot, and people who really know taekwondo, like those kicks, man, are deadly. Yeah. And no one can kick like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Like those kicks are unreal.
Yeah, it's super dynamic, explosive, and fast. Very, very fast. Yeah.
What do you love about martial arts?
You learn about yourself.
How so?
By you're constantly being tested, and you're being tested to push, and you're being you you learn how to take not only physical abuse or physical pain, but also mental pain. For example, being kicked in the head doesn't necessarily hurt. Sometimes, a lot of times it does, but it's also like the fact that you got kicked in the head. This other person, your opponent, managed to get you there. So it's and especially in Taekwondo, kicking in the head, that's probably like I don't know if they change the score system, but that's like the highest score you could get. So these little things, you get taught a lot about how to move, how to counter, which that's what Taekwondo really is. It's a counter sport. And I don't remember, like every training session, there was something that I did not realize the last session that I had. Every training session, there was something new to find out about the sport or about yourself, really. And what it also teaches you is the commitment that you have to show, and not necessarily commitment to the sport, but commitment to every single moment. When you're fighting, when you're competing, if you're throwing a punch or a kick and you're not committed 100% behind that punch or a kick, now you're in danger. And that's with everything in life. I think when you're committed to something completely, you may fail, it may not land, but you're committed. You're completely committed behind that punch. You're completely committed to that counter. That's
why are you in danger? Why what's the importance of being fully committed to that movement, especially in, I guess, martial arts, but as well as in like life? What's the importance of like fully committed to it?
For example, right, you're at a stop sign and you see an opportunity to go to move with the car. Now, if you're gonna move, you gotta move. You gotta get to the other side. Sure. You can't start the car and stop halfway. Now you're now you're in danger, right? So it's kind of like the same way. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but I mean, yeah. So it's kind of the same way, and fighting, you're not only you're defending yourself, but at the same time you're trying to punch your opponent or kick your opponent before you get kicked, before you get attacked on. So believing in the movement and believing in the way that you're going to move. So that commitment is everything, I think. Believing
the way you move because you practice the movement so many times to have the confidence to do the same thing in competition.
100%. Like, for example, when I graduated at an athletic school in Belgium, so when we do gymnastics, you have a series of exercises, a series of moves you have to execute, right?
What makes a school athletic? What do you mean athletic school?
So
was it just a school for fitness?
Yeah.
Like so you didn't study other things?
No, you did. Okay. We studied anatomy, physiology, anything that goes hand in hand with movement and your body. And then every day we had 2 to 4 hours of pure sports. Like
this is high school?
High school, yeah, exactly. So goes from like, anything from like track and field, swimming, football, basketball.
What was the name of the school?
VHSE.
VHSE.
VHSE. Yeah.
VHSE. Okay.
Yeah, it's like Sport Institute in Bruges, basically, in Belgium. So we were, throughout the year, we were, being taught different disciplines, different types of sports, and we would get into like details about like rules and volleyball and and, like football.
What was the goal of it? Like, what was the goal of the school?
So the majority of the people, or the goal of the school was, the people would go and become, physicians for like all kinds of athletes and teams across the country.
Is that initially what you wanted to do?
No, not necessarily. And then we also had professional like athletes and at school, itself. Well. Like we had like, people that were playing for the national team of football for Belgium. We had like club players, we had basketball players. So, there was, broad range of ways you could like continue after the school. And I was competing at the time. So, that was perfect. 'Cause like, dude, it was like, honestly, like high school was fucking awesome. It
sounds cool.
I fucking loved it. Seriously. Yeah. Every day you're just out there, you're learning about all kinds of different sports, and you're having fun, and you're building a team.
Yeah.
You're
learning camaraderie.
Yeah. And you're learning how
to work with people.
Correct. And first week you have no idea how to throw a frisbee, for example, and then week 2 now you're like throwing it between your legs, and you're catching, you're diving, so you're constantly learning things, and on top of that, the reason why I wanted to go into a sports school is because I wanted to be as adaptable as possible. Because my goal was always to graduate, come to the United States, and start, start acting. And acting is all about adaptability and behavior in any given situation. So
well, everything in like the action movies and stuff, it takes some serious athleticism to do a lot of like these stunts if you're actually going to do it.
Those are the fun.
Because I feel like it's kind of funny because there's a lot of people who want to be actors, but they don't have the skill set to do certain roles. And then they have to hire like stunt doubles and stuff like that. When in reality, if you just know how to move somewhat well, you could do a decent amount of them.
Yeah, and then you're adding on to the production quality of the movie, because that means they're not going to have to cut around. And
it's like you could do that whole scene.
Yeah, in a close-up, but you could do the whole scene without cutting. So
it's like if you look at John Wick, right? There's not a lot of cuts for some of those fight scenes. And it looks pretty so cool.
Those are some serious people working on that movie. Probably one of the best. For sure. That was in Belgium. I have like reels of me like jumping off of roofs, landing on cars, like fighting.
You still have videos of them?
Yeah.
Were you ever afraid? Do you ever have that fear of like heights or like doing a trick and then like not landing it?
Fear, yes, but I like it. It's challenge. I respect it.
Sure. And like, have you ever ate shit? Have you ever fallen hard?
Hell yeah, bro. Yeah. So we did parkour all the time, especially in Belgium. Actually, in Bruges, we introduced parkour to the city. They came out with a news crew and filmed us at that time when parkour was like really growing. And you eat shit all the time, dude. And you're not in the gym. You're outside jumping from roof to roof. But it's like what we said before. It's about like the trust that you gain throughout your training. You put that in the moments of fear, because there's always a possibility of falling or a failure of getting hurt. But as long as you trust in what you're trained in, and as long as you trust in what you believe that you're capable of,
because if you learned it correctly, you should be able to land whatever properly based on like this amount of statistics that you practice with, right?
Yeah, visualization is everything, right? If you look at like gymnastics, like right before they're about to go on, like it's on a loop, their visualization of like exactly each and every single moment and how the foot is going to be, how the hand is going to be, where the palms are going to go, and you drill that over and over again, and obviously with parkour and being outside, you're reckless, you're a kid.
For people who don't understand what parkour is, can you describe it?
I mean, easiest way of describing it the way it was or the way it is, it's like going from point A to point B as quick as possible, and then tricking and freestyle, that they added a lot of flares and saltos and backflips and cartwheels, and now you have literally like people just doing all kinds of crazy shit,
so people are jumping from like roof to roof and
they're doing all kinds of flips.
Crazy,
it's amazing how it developed, man. It's incredible, and I have so much respect for everybody that does that. It's really beautiful.
Do you aspire to do any of that still?
I mean, we go over in Burbank. There's like a whole gymnastics area, so we kind of like practice there. I've been there actually only once. I should go a lot more often, but I can't say I've been out here in LA outside, to do some like real outside parkour. I haven't done that in a while, but yeah, always fun, man. When I actually go back to Belgium, I have a lot of friends there who are still, they're in it. There's instructors, so like we meet up and
What's Belgium like? If you had to describe Belgium to someone like myself who's never been, like how would you describe it compared to the States?
It's small, it's straightforward, and it's safe. If you like living in an environment where everything's kind of like settled, and it's kind of like you have your job, you have your family, things are good, and you're not trying to aim to make millions, and you're not trying to launch a business that could like take over Amazon or whatever. You're gonna have a solid life, and I think a lot of people love it, and a lot of people also hate it, obviously. Sure. But for me, that was not the environment for me. I wanted to be challenged. I wanted to be in an environment where the competition was high.
I felt like you got that from that high school, because like looking at that, I was like, I feel like I was really athletic wherever I came from. My hometown, like 4 hours away, and I was on the, higher percentage of most things. But then like when I came here, I was like, oh, you're just like average, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there are levels, right?
So there's levels to it. And you start hanging around with these people, and you're like, oh, like, I need to learn this and that and that, and learn this movement and that movement, you know? And it forces you to grow in a place like this.
Yeah.
You know, like, what inspired you to, I guess, take this creative route and, like, become an actor? Because where you're from, there's not a lot of that, from what I understand.
Yeah. Well, one thing was that I wasn't born in Belgium. I'm not necessarily even Belgian. I'm still to this date. I have
Cheers, brother.
Cheers,
Thanks for
bro.
coming.
Thank you, bro. Absolutely. This drink, bro.
I made Themo a Gold Rush. He asked for Gold Rush. I was like, how do you spice it up? So I put some In Spirit holiday spice in there. He liked the froth.
Dude,
it's good. And a little tart. A little
like
sweet.
I said, I don't drink that much alcohol, but the Gold Rush, anytime there's a possibility, I'm getting a Gold Rush.
We'll get a Gold Rush.
So yeah, but so like I said, I wasn't necessarily born in Belgium. Me and my brother, we were born in Georgia. The country, and
Is that in Europe?
That is in East Europe, yes.
Okay.
That's literally the border between Europe and Asia. Some people may say it's Asia already, but you know, some other stuff. But yeah, we were born there, completely different world, a different way of thinking, different. I was born in 92, so it's a different era almost, you know, especially back then. Fairly, Georgia was still like a new country, you know, after the Soviet collapse. And there was no future there. So my parents, they took a risk, and they just fled the country. And then we moved from like Georgia to like over to Russia, Poland, Germany, and then eventually we came to Belgium. So I grew up.
You hit everywhere.
Yeah.
You're all over the place.
Yeah, but I was a kid. I was like 6, 7, so I don't really remember I remember the trip, but I don't remember the countries that we really visited that much. It was kind of like glimpses that I have.
What did that many movements and moves affect you? Like, how did that affect you?
Exactly. So the way it affected me was that I wanted to do the same in a way. I wanted to leave and go for like a bigger adventure almost. You know what I mean? So ever since I can remember, I was just fascinated and obsessed with American culture, American movies mainly, and American just way of living in terms of like what I thought what that was
and
from
did you
movies.
just movies?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
how
just
did you
movies.
Is American culture like big everywhere over there as well?
Yeah, I would say so, man. Especially when it comes to like like movies influence a lot, man. You have American movies everywhere. Everywhere they're playing. You're not gonna have many Belgian and Dutch movies playing here. You're gonna have a few, but not many, right? But American movies, you have it all over the world. Yeah. And
what did you like about these movies? Like what did you find romantic about them?
I don't know. It was the same, but it was different. It was like, for example, like dumb things like the cars, like big ass cars. You're
like these don't exist here.
Yeah,
I
like
want to see that.
Big ass pickup cars, pickups, and fucking SUVs, and you name it. Or just place like California and New York, like skyscrapers, bro. Yeah. Dude, like I remember first time I was in New York.
Those don't exist where you're from.
No, not at that scale. Like if you go to Brussels, you'll see some skyscrapers, but nothing impressive. And
no
it's
Empire
like,
State Building.
Yeah, no. But like when you think of New York, you're thinking of like just an adventure, and that's what it was to me. So that's how it affected me. I mean, ever since I was a kid in Belgium, I was like, that's it, man. I'm gonna get my shit done here. I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna do whatever I have to do, and then I'm doing everything I can to make it over to the U.S. Yeah. So
you were in all these, I guess, like regimented sports and schoolings, like. It's very disciplined, very like you show up to practice, you do the work. You go to school, you study, you do the work. What makes you so attracted to, I guess, for example, piano? Like, why did you want to learn it? Like, what something in your brain attracted you to this keyboard, and you got obsessed with it for a little bit of time to where you could play it now?
Bro. I mean, to just put it simply, I was like, I want to know if I have to play a character that has to play the piano. I want to know how to play the piano. That's it. Honestly, that's like majority of my motives that I learn things. I just want to be able to
be anybody.
Yeah, like to adapt in any circumstance. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, like it's something incredible when you can express yourself through a different channel than, something that you're very used to, like acting is one thing, but then, you have painting, and then you have like playing the piano. And recently, bro, I started learning Ableton. Yeah.
Like coding?
No, not coding, like music producing.
Oh, music producing.
Like Ableton.
Yes.
The
beat.
Yeah, like making beats, like producing beats. Because like I told you, like a month ago, I was with my brother, who's a DJ. Yeah, great year for him. Radze, everybody check him out. Yeah. And we were touring all over Belgium and France, and I just saw him, and he's literally just like me, but he's doing it his own way, what I mean? But we understand each other like that. So
you guys good friends?
Well, bro, he's my heart, you know. And I'd see him like work behind the computer, and he has this freaking studio, and I have no idea. I swear to God, I had no idea what he was doing. It was like Chinese to me, you know what I'm saying? But he was just sitting there and making these beats, and I was like, oh man, this is beautiful. This is amazing. So I came back home like a month ago, and I'm not kidding. I locked myself up in my room for two days, and this is something I always wanted. I wanted to know how the production is done to basic level, of course. And I locked myself up, and I freaking I YouTube the shit out of that.
Dude, YouTube University is a
it's
thing.
The best. I'll tell you guys, it's
Anyone can learn
incredible.
anything.
Yeah, as long as you have patience and you really want to do it, it's so much possible through it. So I sat down, and I kept watching these videos. I kept trying. Then I did it, bro. I made like a whole track, and now I understand the basics of layers and sequencing and beat patterns, and
you could talk about it.
I could talk about it. Yeah, I could follow along. Finally.
You could understand the basic language of Ableton.
Yeah, I'll share you the track that I made. Actually, I'm working on the second one right now, and it's just so much fun. That's another way of expression. It's another way. It's another way of learning more about myself and growing.
Not just about yourself, about others too.
100%.
Because. Back to what you said about language, like for example, there's sports. Like if you understand the rules of the sports, you understand the game better, and you have more of appreciation towards it.
So your perspective changes about that game, and your respect, obviously, and the layers that game or that music is being played on. Because
you probably respect your brother's craft more now that you understand it, versus like it was just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, man. Because I remember, like, as I was leaving to the U.S., he got a little. Like a drum machine, and he would just play it all the time.
Are you talking about like the little squares?
Yeah. And he would just play it all the time up in the attic. And obviously at that time, like, we're not accustomed to that. And he plays like hard techno, acid techno. So like it's and my mom, who's like, she's like from Georgia, she's never even heard of that music before.
She's like, what
turn
is
that
this?
off. Yeah. But I loved it. And I always.
What do you love about it?
What I love about it is
because I think I'm your mom in that case.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to take you to one of these events, bro.
Yeah.
What I love about it, bro, is the unity that it creates. Unity in terms of like, it's not just the music, but when you go to these events, and you could talk about festival, you could talk about concert. It's the same thing. You get like connected not only with the music, but you get connected with the people that are there, and you see how other people are being influenced and are affected by the music, and somehow I get a lot of joy from that. Seeing another person like enjoy music and the way they react, the way they dance to it, I love it, And not only that, but from my brother's point of view, he's a magician, man. He's a puppeteer, when he's up there on the stage, and you have like hundreds of and now with the festival, thousands of people, moving to the beat that he created. It's a
beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the most inspiring thing. Seriously. So
I need to look into the science of it too, because there's a lot of people talking about like sound healing, and a lot of people about
sound what?
Sound healing.
Sound healing, right?
Sound healing, and just like because you see when you play sounds. And you see what it does to like water, right? Like most of our body's made out of water, so that is doing something to us. 100%. That is allowing some joy and energy to get us moving.
Yeah. It's one of the most powerful entities and powerful energies, you'd say, music, and you could relate that to anybody. You don't even have to be a musician. You could be an engineer, you could be whatever, but you'll have one piece of music that just like touches you in a way that nothing else can.
What type of music touches you?
Anything that has soul and heart, man. I listen to any genre. I can go from like Beethoven to Bach. I can go to Biggie to, Billie Eilish. I could go from like the hardest, most brutal sounding techno that you can imagine to, classical piano, like anything that sounds good. I don't necessarily have a specific genre.
It's interesting what people are interested in because all music is different, and obviously it means something to somebody or else it wouldn't exist.
100%. Yeah. And I feel like with the age of, internet and social media, there's an audience for anything. There's an audience for any type of genre. You may think and it's very subjective, obviously. You may think it's, it sounds like crap, but there's going to be like 100,000 people out there that love that stuff and that share that stuff and that listen to it, on a daily basis. So that's what's so awesome about it.
Yeah, because everyone just is attracted to different things, and there's so much content in the world now. Like, there's no way that you can consume everything.
Yeah.
It's like there's a beauty and a curse to it.
Yeah, there is. And I think it's always going to be like that.
I think it's inevitable now.
Yeah.
Before, it's like you play a CD and that's what you're listening to. Now you could just be like, what am I going to find today? I'm going to listen to that.
Yeah.
Or like a movie, like you used to just throw in a CD and that's what we're listening to. Or a tape and that's what we're listening to. Now you got Netflix and now you got just like, whoa.
Yeah, too many options.
What do I listen to? Exactly. What do I watch?
Yeah, and that's, that's the power of, of this comfort that we're kind of like find ourselves in, right?
Yeah.
And it has its negatives and it has its positives. So it's going to be up to us. It's really up to the individual to like balance that out and really have a kind of like a clear way in it, because you could get lost in that, man.
Yeah.
It's awesome to have so much shows and so many options, but you don't want to be consumed by it, if you understand what I'm saying. Like social media and all that, I love it, but you can be consumed.
It can take over your life.
It could take over your life, and I don't think that's the idea. When that starts happening, then it's something's not right.
Yeah.
So I think, and again, like the balance to find that balance, discipline is necessary. So, and when we go back to discipline, man, nothing disciplines you more than a good training,
good workout, or skill that you're trying to learn.
Exactly, 100%.
How do you decide where to pay your attention? Because
say that again.
How do you decide where do you where to pay your attention to?
How do I decide?
Yeah.
Recently I've been struggling with that more because I have like these different venues that are very exciting, and I know if I completely commit to that, it's going to be successful. Something good is going to come out of it. But I also see that I have certain responsibilities, I have certain accountabilities, and I find myself I find myself prioritizing first, like what needs to be done first, what needs to be done second. And I try to lose myself from distractions when I'm doing something, when I'm working on something. I'm trying to disconnect. The reason I'm saying try to is because
sometimes
it's hard. Yeah. And I don't want to sit here and be like, oh yeah, no, like it's hard sometimes. I find myself distracted and I'm like, damn, I just lost 30 minutes that I could have been doing, this work that I had to do, and I got distracted. So recently it's been more difficult, but that's because I've been more involved with these different venues that are so exciting to me. So, and that's the thing. I got to pace myself, and I have to like focus on the present. And I think the best way to do it is small steps, small goals, and then which eventually lead to bigger goals. Yeah. So
because if you have all these like big dreams and stuff, you have to like kind of break it down.
Actions,
or else you're just gonna get overwhelmed and just be like, all right, I'm gonna watch this show, and then it's 3 weeks later and you're like, ah, shit.
Yeah.
I just bought this cookie jar over there where you put your phone in and you lock it up and you set a timer, because I was like, dude, I'm getting addicted to this thing. Man. I'm just like, I gotta shut this shit off so I can pay attention.
Yeah, right. I know, and it's always there. It's so easy, You like, I find myself sometimes like, I gotta check something out of my phone, and then next thing you know, I'm scrolling to like these different apps, and I was not even supposed to be on this right now, and I completely lost my objective, So yeah, it's something that I think like all of us needs. We need to like check ourselves. We need to really, like pay attention to that.
You don't want to get lost in the sauce.
Nope.
When you decided, and what age were you when you wanted to be an actor?
Bro, ever since I can remember, but like there was this one moment, I think this was like my first or second year in Belgium. I was like 6, 7.
6, 7 years old.
Yeah. But actually even before that in Georgia, I remember watching the Bruce Lee movie for the first time, and I was like completely...
Which one?
Big Boss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that with Kareem in it? The basketball player?
Oh, no, that's Enter the Dragon.
Enter the Dragon.
Yeah. No, the Big Boss. No American actors were involved in that one.
Okay.
That was the one that really like got him like out there, and then they made Enter the Dragon, and that really like blew up.
But you're watching that movie.
Yeah. So that's kind of like how it started back in Georgia. But I remember when I was you know how like in school you gotta write a future letter to yourself, you know. So that's what I did. I wrote myself like that letter. I'm like, I'm gonna go to the United States, and I'm gonna pursue acting, and I'm like, you know, do what, you know, whatever, like what Bruce Lee did at that time. So that I stuck by that, man. That stuck with me forever.
How did you, obviously you had that goal and that dream, but how did you take actionable steps to get there? Because like that just doesn't happen a lot.
No.
I feel like a lot of people have that goal, that letter to themselves, but then they just don't know how to do it. I guess, how did you do it? Like, what were your next steps?
So
like, how did you get here?
Yeah, so my next steps were like, I knew I had to get my high school degree. I knew I had to, you know, I had to do that to move on to the next step. Again, I dove into something I was very passionate about, which was sports. You know, I was very passionate about that. So I knew early on that the moment I can go to high school, I want to do the tryouts for this school, and I want to graduate there. And then after that, I'm gonna look for a school in the United States, and I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to you know, get the visa or whatever. Which at that time, and actually still, I have a Georgian passport, so that complicated things from Belgium, which you know, Georgian passport holders, they don't, you know, you don't get a visa as quickly as someone with a Belgian passport, unfortunately. Sure. So I focused on finishing school completely. That was very important to me. And then after that, the moment I finished, I started doing some like theater work in Belgium. I was kind of like getting prepared. I was working at a bakery during that year, and I was like, you know, working at night, and the baker was deaf.
Dude, baking is tough. They work all night.
Yeah, all night, especially in Belgium, bro. Belgium has like, dude, when it comes to like pastry, oh, bro, top.
Love pastries.
Yeah, I love it.
A mean chocolate croissant, that's my go-to.
Yeah, I had 2 this morning.
Oh, it's so good.
Warmed up, but it's not comparable. Here, chocolate croissants are not comparable to what it is back in Belgium. So, yeah, it's you know, it's like you work all night, and I was helping the baker, and he was deaf, so I would like you know, I was trying to utilize my time as much as possible. So like I would like listen to like audiobooks, or I would listen to a lot. Like I grew up on rap, grew up on like rap straight up. Like I learned my English like partly through rap. So I would listen to like these audiobooks.
What was your first language?
Georgian.
Yeah.
Okay. So like I would work there. I would like listen to audiobooks, listen to like different people talking English. I'd swap my phone to like English, so like I wanted to be as ready as possible. I started doing like semi-pro theater work in Belgium, and then eventually I reached out to a few schools, and I, you know, sent out a few auditions, and then one of the schools got back to me with the
New York Academy, right?
Yeah, and with a partial scholarship. So
that's a big school, New York Film Academy.
Yeah, it is a big school. Yeah, definitely, especially here in LA, and they're bi-coastal. So yeah, and to me, I was ignorant at that time. So I didn't know anything about different schools. I didn't know anything about anything, to be honest, bro.
Yeah,
I just wanted to. I knew that if I can be in New York, that's it. That's all I need. I made it. Yeah, that's it. That's all I need. Because then I'll be able to like create my own opportunity. I'll be, as long as I can be there, you know. And
where did you get this mindset from?
Well, my father had a big influence on me and my brother. The upbringing of knowing that, you know, we left, like, for example, my parents, they left their home and they left their family to give us a better life. That commitment, that risk that they took. I in a way, I felt like if I'm gonna do something, I want to do something that make them proud. I don't want to, because bro, coming from Georgia, being in Belgium, dude, you're privileged, man. In Georgia, back in the day, we didn't have running water. We didn't have electricity. We didn't have windows in our school. So when I come to Belgium, we have computer, everything. You have everything. There's no problem. Like, there's anything you need, it's there. Food is there. Hot water, cold water, light, everything. So I was like, wow, this is freaking awesome.
This is
yeah.
so cool.
Like, I remember watching, like they had designated roads for bicycles. I'm like, damn, man, that's and it's like nice, streets are clean. Yeah, bro. Yeah. So I was like, I felt privileged, man. I felt really privileged growing up in Belgium, and I thank Belgium, my whole life, man. That it was because I wouldn't be able to, or maybe I would be able to, but it would have been a lot harder to do or to come over to the U.S. from Georgia and growing up in Georgia. You see what I'm saying? So it was just incredible to see that change and to see like, wow, so there's a world like this. This isn't this is amazing, yeah, man. So like that mentality was like ever since I was a child. It was and with competition, was constantly training, it just builds up the discipline. And I also saw a lot of progress with the things that I was doing. And and this is something that I was also like always told by my father. I'm like, you dedicate your time and your focus onto something. It doesn't matter what it is. You completely dedicated your time and focus to it. You'll get better.
100%.
Yeah, you're not supposed. Yeah, you're not supposed to be amazing immediately. You're not supposed to. It's not that's not how it is. The point is to keep doing it and get better and get better.
So get obsessed with the progress of the doing.
Exactly.
Not necessarily the results.
Right.
Because by doing, you will get the results.
Right, man. So I knew that, like, okay, I don't speak that. I don't speak English that well. Like. Coming over here, everybody always told me, oh, you have an accent. I'm like, okay, I have an accent. I'll work on that. I don't know anybody in New York. I'll work on that. I got to get an agent. I got to get a manager. I'll work on that. I know I can. If I have the possibility, then I'm going to do it, So, and in a way, you got to love that challenge.
Yeah.
You got to love that in a certain way because, bro, nothing came promised. When I came over to LA, I did not know a single human being. I really didn't. I did not know anybody. I wasn't connected. Yeah, so I had to start fresh. That was in 2016 when I came over here.
Okay. Hasn't even been 10 years yet.
Yeah. And to be honest, bro, I mean, we came over 2016, and then we did that big movie, so that kind of like
Patriots Day, right?
Yeah. So that
was that the coolest thing?
That was the most amazing thing. Yeah. So, but then I had to leave Cali again because we were shooting in Boston, and so I didn't really feel like I was in Cali. So like, to be honest, like coming into LA, it was like in 2018-19.
Yeah.
And then I really like said, and then COVID happened, obviously, and then I was just here.
What was the feeling when you, I guess, landed that role?
Dude,
when you heard
we made it. This is it. This is what the struggle was for.
Yeah.
This was my childhood dream. I did it, and then we went back home, and all my whole city came out. We had a huge premiere. That was my childhood dream. That's it.
So
that
cool,
was
bro.
That was what I always wanted, and it was incredible.
I watched that movie multiple times before I met you, which is like hilarious, and I still didn't think. I didn't know either until I think I followed your Instagram and I saw. I was like, oh no way, that's the guy in Patriots today. Yeah. And it's so crazy how small the world is because I met Mark Wahlberg and his team a couple times because I worked at F45.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I was doing some research about you yesterday, and there was a red carpet interview that you did, and my college economics professor interviewed you.
No way.
My community college, he was this Asian guy. I don't know. It was on the Latin from Manhattan. That guy who interviewed you.
We did a movie like last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that guy who interviewed you was my high school economics teacher.
Dude.
And it's so funny because he talked about how he was going to quit his job. He bought like this gas station in my hometown and was going to like live off that. And he just wanted to be in Hollywood and interview people. And it's just so funny that that one of them was you.
Sick.
And he also interviewed Anthony. And I was just like, so this world's mind-boggling.
That's how it is, man. Yep. That's how it is, man. Yeah. That's fun, bro. That's cool.
What What was it like working with Mark in that movie?
I mean, just respect, man. Just respect. That's all, bro. Like, it was incredible because you see someone that's a superstar, and not only him, like other cast members there.
Sure.
They were literally superstars and just humble people, and everybody just wants to, contribute to the movie, and that's what it was. And it was just a learning process for me too, because that was my first anything, to be honest.
You really got deep into that role because I saw one interview with you. You met the boxing trainer.
Yeah.
Of the role you
trained
played.
together.
And you trained together.
We prepared for that. Yeah.
How was that?
Gnarly. The very first time was so gnarly. Yeah. They're going to the gym. They had the plaques that the guy won, and they took the plaques down, obviously, but you could still see the dust marks around the plaques, and it had a very eerie feeling about it, right? So, and talking to the coach who helped me out a lot, helped out the production really, was very insightful, and in a way it was necessary to really get behind the drive and to feel kind of like what was going on.
What's your process into becoming that character or any character?
It's real. I believe in it. I make as real as we're sitting here talking to each other. That's how I approach anything, any preparation. It could be like the silliest movie. It could be the most serious movie. The approach is not necessarily the same, but the idea is the same. That you believe what you're doing. You're
How do you get to that space for you?
I don't know about, like, I don't necessarily get to that space. It's like a playground. It's fun. Like, for example, that preparing for that role, even though the role was it was not the most positive, and it was not the most heartfelt story, obviously, but preparing for it and going through it was fun, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to do justice to the movie and to what happened, and you're not, it's not about how good you can do it, it's not about how well you can play it, it's about like the playing it part itself. It's about the process itself, and it's I love thinking from perspective I've never thought before in my entire life. I love that.
What is thinking from different perspectives?
Like, for example, like that character. What is it to dream about, committing a massacre and enjoy that feeling? What is it about knowingly going to sleep, setting an alarm at 7 a.m., knowing that you're gonna wake up, you're gonna have breakfast, you're gonna kiss your kids, your wife, and then you're gonna pack your backpack full of bombs, and you're just gonna go to an event where people are happy, people are getting together, they're people are supporting each other because it's a marathon, and everyone, and it's all just good, and it's all just like happy. Yeah, man, it's a community that gets together, and then I'm out here about to detonate these bombs. What does that feel like? And that's dark.
That is dark.
That is dark.
But that is a perspective that not a lot of people have, that you got to put yourself in.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, and yeah, man, it's very uncomfortable. At times it could be uncomfortable, and times it's not even about that. At times, like in acting classes, you may read scenes or do scenes from a play that are very, very uncomfortable, but that's what it is. You got to enjoy that uncomfort, and
That's interesting the way you said that in perspective, because I feel like you could put that in anything in terms of like beliefs in subjects. It could be politics. It could be in the way you move your body for training. It's like, why is this person doing a pull-up this way?
Yeah.
And let me try that and see if it works better for me.
Yeah.
Or what muscles work.
Yeah.
Because like so many people think that their way of thinking in anything is correct, which it could be, but you have to be open to the possibility that it might be wrong. Because to that person that you played, like, he truly believed that's what God wanted. That's what his life purpose was.
Yeah.
But like to most people, like, clearly it's not that.
100%, man.
Crazy.
It is, and that's where the adaptability comes in, where you're able to set aside your own beliefs, and you're not judging. You're setting aside your own bias and your, principles and whatever, and you're kind of like, going in it from like a completely like a loose and a fresh,
it's like you're clay
idea.
and you want to be molded.
Yeah, 100%. But now the molding happens through you, who you are, what I've been through. Kind of like you touch here, you touch there, and that process is honestly, and that's one of the main things that I love about like in this situation, like acting, is that like the imagination is just freaking like limitless, man. It's absolutely just, you could
create
anything, man. And it's the most incredible feeling. It's like riding a 100-foot wave. Like, you seen that documentary, 100-foot wave? Yeah, bro.
My heart's beating.
One of the reasons I started surfing because of that documentary, man.
Do you still surf?
I still surf, bro.
Let's go.
Yeah, we should go. Yeah, I have a homie, Greg Havanesian. He's a great actor, actually. Yeah, and we go to El Porto Beach. He actually helped me like
scary, bro.
Yeah, bro. Dude, that's how I started. The first time he gave me a light ass board, skinny board, like short. Yeah. He's like, go for it. So after
you got up on the
yeah.
No
I go,
way.
yeah, bro. Yeah.
That's
So
impressive.
we should go together for sure.
El Porto, guys, if you don't know, like, there's some competitions out there that are like 8-10 foot waves, and if that 8-10 foot doesn't sound big, guys, but like I love surfing like a 3 to 4 foot wave. Like,
I do 3 to 4. No, I haven't done 8 to 10, and 3 to 4 is challenging already. Just, bro, it's challenging getting through those waves to
it's
get
the
to
going
the point.
Out part,
Yeah.
Because like you catch the wave, it's cool, you ride it, but then you're like, fuck, I gotta get out there
back.
again.
Oh, brutal.
Because you're hitting waves coming on and on and on.
See, like, for example, like that, it's inspiring to me, man. It's so inspiring to me that, like, for example, like people that, the surfers that, ride the 100-foot wave, man, the mentality they gotta be under, See, I want to think like that. I want that to be my standard. Like, this is how we always trained. Like when we trained with Taekwondo, like Mike Tyson's regimen, that was my standard. And if it was not like that, it was not good. I don't care about like how many sit-ups, how many kicks. No. If it was not like Mike Tyson, it's not good, I like to think like that. Also, when I'm training, I think I'm getting ready for like a professional fight. I'm not, but that's how I'm thinking. And my training becomes a lot more efficient and a lot more precise and a lot more specific, and now obviously I'm not gonna go freaking ride a 100-foot wave, but dude, it's a thrill. It's such an incredible feeling to think like that.
That's what I see. Have you watched The Alchemist?
Oh, yeah.
It's like climbing those mountains too, with no ropes.
I mean, that guy really was on another planet, man. Oh man, rest in peace. That was an incredible. I watched that.
Or Alex Honnold, free solo.
Yeah. That's how I started doing indoor climbing. Yeah. We go in Northridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd love to go too.
Yeah, it's really nice. I haven't been in since I left to Belgium, but it was really nice. A lot of fun. Bouldering too. A lot of fun.
That's crazy that you talk about these standards, because a lot of people would have said to me before that, like, oh, you work so hard in these aspects and everything, which I appreciate, but then I hear something like that when you said if my boxing or working out standards is like Mike Tyson. That's even if it's not that, it's not good enough. And I'm just like, oh shit, like again, just leveling up with different people.
Yeah.
And do you ever get distracted in the sense of, for example, I'll be working on something, if it's a skill on the computer, or if I'm trying to YouTube something, and a friend will hit me up and be like, hey, you want to get drinks or a bar tonight, or you want to go on a date, or do you want to go rock climbing, or this and that? And I would say some of the times I'd be like, oh, I'm working on this thing, but this sounds really fun. It's like that fear of missing out. Do you do that as well? Sometimes you're like, okay, like I'm gonna ditch what I'm working on to do that, but then you feel guilty about leaving it.
Yeah, definitely, Brad. Man, or sometimes I'm like, all right, I worked on it for like 30 minutes. Oh, I gotta, Succession. This episode, I want to watch that episode.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you watch that episode, and then while I'm watching, I'm like, look at me, I'm just sitting here watching this episode, knowing that I have to do what I have to do, So so that guilt feeling is there. And earlier we were talking about weed. I like, dude, if I smoke and I haven't done anything, I haven't been like in a way productive, not a good idea.
Like depressive state.
I get so self-critical. I really like I judge myself so hard, and it's not good. It's not good, and I don't enjoy smoking anymore because of that. And I notice I'm like, so I can't. It's very important to me that I know that I did. Right, something that's, and it's within all of us, within us, that we know what needs to be done, or I have a specific idea, I have a specific goal, or I'm working on the script with a friend of mine, and I know I have to work on these characters. I know I have to get the backstory, so that means I have to do research, and with the research, that means I have to like look things up and sit down, and that's like quick 2-3 hours, right? And I don't do that, It's I think that's also good. You need to have that, because once you start ignoring that instinct, that's when it gets dangerous. And I'm the type of person, instincts are everything to me, man. I don't like, I can go to something without a plan. Dude, I came here without a plan. I came to the US without a plan. I had no plan, and to be honest, just coming over here was a crazy ride on its own, but that could be a story for something else. That happened with me coming to New York. Bro, it's we get into it, but it's it's a whole like a thing about like friendship and betrayal and scams and like it's a crazy story. I don't know if we have time, but like, I mean,
we got time, bro. Go tell it.
No, I mean, we're talking about this stuff, but I don't think I really ever talked about this like publicly like this. Yeah. But like coming into New York, I was supposed to come here with a friend, like coming over to the US and whatever. And this friend was like, I knew him for like 2 years. We were together. He was supposed to be a model. I gave him money for the apartment. We would go out together. We would, he met my family, everything, man. It was, it was all, like friendship. You know what I mean? And when I talk about friendship, bro, like I said, I was born in Georgia, and the way we are brought up and the way we look at friendship is different. It's different than sometimes in the Western society.
How so?
How so? Like with friends, we really when we talk about friendship, we look each other as brothers, and we really value each other, and we really, when we listen. I'm not coming in with my agenda. I'm not coming in with what I want. No, I'm making sure that you are good. I'm making sure that you get what you want first, and then I'll get mine, So we come from that perspective. So when I call you a friend, I'm your friend, bro, and you need me anytime, I'm there for you. You know what I mean? Whenever. So I was in that type of relationship with this guy, and I was getting ready to come over to New York. I had saved up. I was going through Google Street Views, understanding how to, move in New York from like my apartment to like school, my budget, everything, man. I planned my whole
life.
My whole first 6 months on that routine. Come to find out, flying to New York. Well, we were supposed to go together, but like last few weeks, he was like ditching out, like being like a little weird about, I can't go now or this and that. I'm like, oh, don't worry about it. He's like, here, take my keys, go to the apartment. I'll meet you there. Come to find out, bro, I fly in, and I'm really like, cutting it short now, but I'm flying into New York first day, super excited, with this big ass dream that I have, whatever, and everything is a scam, bro. The guy scammed me with everything. Big lie. No place, nothing. Took my money, everything, dude, everything. Damn. Yeah. And we went to the apartment. Actually, my aunt, who lived in Jersey, she picked me up from the airport, and we drove there together, and we went to, it was like some midtown Manhattan, and we went into the apartment, into the receptionist, and I show him a key, and he starts laughing. He's like, we don't use keys here. Like, who are you? What are you talking about? There's no, there are no, there's no vacancy here. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, give me the manager. He's like, what manager? I'm the manager. There is no manager. It was crazy, bro. That was my first day in New York, like realizing that someone, and this is somebody, I'm telling you, bro, like
it's your brother.
I would pick him up from the club because he was like drunk and emotional, and his girlfriend just, broke up with him and this and that. And I would, he'd send me a contract. And this is my naivety, by the way. It's my ignorance. He'd send me a contract about the house. Now, if you're my friend, I'm not going to sit there and read the contract one by one. I trust you. Yeah. So, man, here, I'll sign it. It's okay. It's a contract, whatever. But then I look at the contract. They're just gibberish. Yeah. It's like none of it makes sense. And my real brothers, they were aware of that, and they told me back then, they're like, yo, Themo, we don't like this kid. I don't know why you gotta hang out with this guy, you know? And I'm like, yeah, you guys just don't understand him. We have the same goals. I know he's a little eccentric, whatever, but they warned me, and I didn't listen because I was naive. I was like, America, you know, I'm going, you know? So, but I learned from that, man. I learned from that. So, yeah, see, like, at that moment when I came to New York, I could have just
called quits.
Yeah, call quit. Because, bro,
what did you do?
So I had to then like relocate to Jersey to my aunt. Like, thank God she was there. Otherwise, I had nowhere to stay. Literally nobody. So like I stayed with her, but then that meant like, you know, half of my budget was gone because I had to get like New Jersey Transit tickets. I had to get like all kinds of different, like I had to like readjust my plan, obviously. And not only that, but then also I got to call back home. I'm like, hey, Dad, Mom, this is what happened. You know what I mean? I had to explain that. I had to like go to sleep thinking that, you know, thinking all those moments. It was horrible. But still, man, I was so happy that I was in New York, man. I was so happy that I was
even all that happened.
Even all that, I didn't care, bro. I didn't care because I made it. You know, I said I was gonna do it, and I did it. Even though I fucked up here and there, I didn't listen. I was too naive. But I'm here, and now watch. Now fucking watch. I don't care. I don't care what was gonna happen. So, you know, that's a learning. You know, a learning process right there.
What did that teach you about, like, I guess, friendship, the characteristics of friends?
Ah, man, what that teach me? Well, one is that, you know, pace yourself, you know.
Don't be too eager.
Yeah. Like that's like something that I've always had. I'm very excited. You know, I can be very excited about something. I can be very, like, you know,
which is a good thing.
Yeah,
a lot of people buy into excitement.
Right.
They're like, if you're passionate about something, they'll buy into it. They'll be passionate about it too.
And dude, I can be passionate about like the smallest
gold
thing.
rush, guys. It's like, yo, when I drink, it's a gold rush, guys. That froth, that foam.
Yeah, but that's a real gold rush right there, though. So yeah, man. So like, you know, to pace myself, and honestly, like, I realized it then, but it took time to like really apply that in my life. And if you think they're your friends, talk is nothing. It's when actions is what. Yeah, actions is what going to.
I've been thinking about it lately, just because I think I've built like a pretty good community of people in LA, just that are my friends right now. And the biggest characteristics that I see in a good friend is like, you make promises, you keep promises. Like if you say you're gonna do something, do it. You know, and like I do that for other people, and I expect other people to do that for me in that friendship partnership. Yeah. Because there's so many people who like make promises, like, hey man, here's this key in New York, and it's yours, and blah blah blah. Obviously, that's a big not promise that they keep, but it is as simple as like, hey, I'm gonna pass by your house and drop this off, or like, hey, I'm gonna go to your show, or you know,
those sometimes those small things are the things that really like make you stand out and make you like legit.
Yeah, I agree, and even the smallest things, like, hey Nate, I'm gonna be at your podcast at 1:30 tomorrow. Yeah, I was like, sick. Yeah, all right, I know for sure you're gonna be there at 1:30.
Yeah, for
like,
sure,
those
bro.
are good characteristics that I love about people.
Yeah, man.
You know, especially in LA, there's so many people out here who just like keep empty promises.
Rough. LA is rough. In that sense, I had a hard time actually adapting to LA. I had an easier time adapting to New York than I had adapting to LA.
What was the difference?
Well, one, in New York, you have you're forced to have a human interaction. You're constantly.
You're surrounded people.
Yeah, you're surrounded by people. So like, you can't avoid it. It's there, you know, and that does something. With LA, you don't necessarily, you know, you have an option not to, because not option. I mean, you're in your car, you're in traffic. You can't really like go outside in the middle of July, you know, at 12 p.m. and, you know, kind of like walk through your neighborhood.
People think you're weird. Like,
yeah,
hey,
people people not gonna be outside, you know, walking by at that heat with that heat. So it was different. And the other thing that I also saw here was maybe not here. I mean, I guess it's just like human nature, I guess, in a way. But man, there's so much comparing. There's so much of like, what is she doing? What is she have? What do I have? How, you know, what do I have at what scale that, you know, they have? And it's like, it gets really like, it gets very, very like dangerous, bro. Cause like, then like, it's a lot of eyes. Me. And people forget about society, man. Yeah. You know, like the reason that like you go to certain places, and obviously like LA is a metropolitan area, it's huge, it's so many people, and you know, you're gonna have like issues. They're gonna have like all kinds of problems. Regardless, you know, that's a different topic. But what I did know, like what I do notice sometimes, that like people here, they forget how to be human. They forget how to have just like a conversation without any intention, without any, you know, any risk of, oh, I don't want to look like this. I don't want them to perceive me like this. Yeah. So there's a certain script or a certain there's a certain pace of dialogue that happens, and I hear it, bro. For example, I told you, right, like my friends came out from Belgium, and we were like, you know, around like 2 weeks, so they were like listening to some of, like, you know, some, like we were in a restaurant, and they would listen to how people were talking. They're like, bro, they're not really everywhere. Talking. Yeah, it's they're not really. It's like they're all actors. Yeah.
And you hear the same script everywhere,
dude, and you hear that, and you're like, damn. So, and that's another thing, because I think with what LA stands for, and this is not only LA, obviously, this is in many areas of the world, not only here, but because there's a certain competition here, because there's a certain, you know, LA has a certain reputation, you know, and people want to, you know, climb that reputation. They want to climb that competition, and there's always this feeling of I don't know, like an agenda, or like genuinity. Is that a word? Like being genuine. Yeah, being genuine is somewhat lost, and then and you can hear it, you can feel it, you know. And I'll be honest, man, I'm guilty of myself that too, because like what I noticed was, oh, I came over here, oh, I have this, you know, big movie, and then suddenly everyone, you know, kind of like acts a little different around me, and this, and then a TV show, and then video games, and oh, it's like all good and all that. So like I'm like, oh, so I have to play the game. Also, I have to kind of like, you know, kind of like blend in, and then I start losing myself a little bit, and like for example, like during COVID, it was hard because like it's nothing is worse than knowing that you're lying to yourself. You know what I mean?
And that intuition that we were talking about earlier is like, you know you are.
Yeah, you know you are.
You know
you can fake it all you want, bro. You could be the top of the top. You could be fucking a billionaire. But when you're washing your face in the morning, you look yourself in the eye, you know it.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not gonna catch you this year, next year, but it's gonna catch you eventually. You know what I mean? So, and that's something I've never had an issue with, to be honest. Or I've never, like, it was not even in my mind, bro, because like I didn't think like that. But here, and also growing up, I started to like
romanticize.
Yeah, and I started to kind of like lose like my roots, and that's something like, again, like going to Georgia, it's different there, bro. There, no one gives a fuck. You know
who you are.
Yeah, no one cares, bro.
Yeah,
you're out there. Like for example, I go to my family in the village, in the mountains, and it's all love, bro. It's all love. You come there with like, you know, you show up there with like $0 or like, you know, 100,000. Doesn't matter. They'll greet you. You come there, they know you. They don't know you. They know you're a guest. They'll greet you with the same amount of love. And when you're away from home sometimes that long, which I've been by myself here since I came over, man. Since 2012, I've been really like by myself. I was like 19, where I was like, yeah, I'm going, you know. And since like I was like 20, I've been by myself. You forget that, you know, and you kind of need to be checked in. You kind of need like that. And then if it's not your family, they're real friends, you know, because I can't expect to have my family out here all the time. So yeah, man, that's sometimes harder. That is harder than like in New York. It was cold, bro. It was fucking cold.
I like to think New York people, I mean, they're tougher. In that
the
sense.
4 seasons definitely make you you know, tougher and more adaptable.
like we had what is it, the tsunami or the hurricane, whatever it was coming. I was like, bro, it's a rainstorm.
Dude, bro, don't get me started on that, bro. I couldn't believe it, man. I could not believe it, bro. I could not believe what was going on, dude. They were closing down schools, the stores. They were like, you know, people going out crazy, bro. For what?
Dude, at the grocery stores, all the waters were gone. Toilet paper again.
God, dude. See, like this. See, this is what I'm talking about, bro. Like, look, for example, right? As a society, as a community, when, let's say it was a hurricane. Let's say it was an actual hurricane. Let's say it was actual, you know, so like a big one. So instead of immediately hiding and locking down and being prepared to, like, you know, avoid the problem, I would say, dude, like in a school, for example, as a principal, let's stay open and let's see if we can let's like prepare for this adversity together so we can overcome it.
Back to the me thing.
Yes, exactly. So not lock and not close down and stay at your homes. No, show up.
Yeah.
You know, but show up in a way that we can adapt. So then next time when something happens, we're ready. You know what I'm saying? Are you always gonna run away and hide in your house? Are you always gonna be that's gonna be your main go-to, I don't know, like option when things happen? No, bro, you gotta be ready. You know what I mean? You have to know to a certain degree that you can adapt to a certain adversity, and it's psychologically, it's subconsciously for children. Like, dude, bro, ain't nobody closing things down in Georgia, dude. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, dude. Like, it's not happening. You know what I mean? We're gonna deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, we're not gonna avoid it. You can, because when you're avoiding, you may avoid that hurricane, whatever. But long term in life, you're not avoiding, bro. Yeah. You're missing out on growth.
Yeah.
And as kids, as you know, you're 12, 11, and that's what you're taught. Oh, something's happening.
We'll be stuck here.
Yeah. I have to hide.
And then forever you'll be inside.
Yeah. And that's that you know, this is again like going to like a different topic, and that whole, you know, I don't know, that idea, whatever. That started with COVID, and yeah, man, it's rough, bro. Yeah, it's rough because it's sad in a way. It's funny, but then it's like sad. I'm like, damn, and I like, yeah. So
it's real sad.
It is. If that's kind of like
I interviewed this one guy who is responsible for growing the brands of Under Armour, Lululemon. Right now he works for the Australian brand LSKD, and he has a saying is, we all get further together. You know, like, these communities are what people are drawn to, like working out, like, maybe not for us, but for a lot of people, it's through community, doing runs together, doing workouts together. Actors, like, you can't be a good actor with just by yourself. You need another counterpart. You need that force,
bro.
You need these
that
people
resistance.
To grow together and like kind of critique you in a good way, in a way that is both beneficial to both parties.
Yeah, I agree, man. And especially this day and age, man, it's a tough position right now. It's a tough situation when it comes to, you know, speaking up. When it comes to,
you're afraid of getting canceled and shit.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, man. Like, me personally, dude, I'll speak up, bro. I'll speak up, you know, and I'll speak up in a way that's not, I'm not trying to be rude.
It's not attacking.
Yeah, I'm not attacking you. I'm speaking up because, like, this is what we both feeling right now.
Sure.
You're just choosing not to. You know what I mean? So I will. And dude, like, during COVID, I had so many issues and so many like, confrontations with people because I was speaking up, and I saw, man, it's man, it's look, like you said, like nothing is like for example, in the Georgian like motto, the national. Like, I don't know, tagline.
It's the anthem?
Yeah, no, anthem. That's the anthem. But like, you know, every country has their own like motto. It's like strength is in unity. You know, not in one, not in two. Like, a strength is in unity. Yeah, and like when we look at like LA, for example, you know, like nothing
everyone's
is
divided.
Yeah, everyone's divided. You know, and then you could even look at it from like a bigger perspective, like the United States. You know, and for example, like societies, communities, man, that's how change is made. That's how strength is really felt, you know, not in the individual, but in the and a group of individuals, you know. So I think that's being lost a little bit in a sense that we're blurring ourselves with all this noise.
How does it get better?
Yo, like us talking like this, you know, and sharing, and hopefully people that can relate, and people that want to that want, because you won't be able to change the world. Not everyone is going to tag along. You know, resistance is going to be there. That's inevitable. But as long as you as a human being, you know, you want to contribute, and you want to take part, and you want to you want to share whatever it is that we're doing here, and I think that's inevitable on its own. It's contagious.
From a web point of view too. Web meaning like just networking, because especially with the internet. Take the internet out of it. Like, between you and me, we're gonna know at least 1,000 people by name in our lifetime. So 1,000 times 1,000, we have the ability to affect 1 million people just by like our one connection, right, throughout our lifetime. And then if you expand that one more deviation away, 1,000 times 1,000 times 1,000 times 1,000, like between two people have deviations, we have the ability to affect 1 billion people just by our conversation right now. And not a lot of people think about that.
Dude, 100%, bro. That's I mean, yeah, you're right. I see. I was blanking on that. You're right. Absolutely right. Especially
so therefore you can change the world.
Yeah. 100%.
The craziest thing happened a few weeks back. I went to San Diego for my powerlifting meet, and my buddy calls me, and he lives in Japan, and he's in Japan for the military, and he was like, bro, I went out to the bar the other day in Okinawa, and this guy was like, you look familiar. And this guy's from Boston. My buddy's never been to Boston. And he's like, I think I do recognize you. Have you been on a podcast before?
No.
And he was like, yeah, I've been my buddy's Nate's. And he was like, oh, yeah, I watched the podcast.
Yes.
And so this random guy in Japan, like, heard my buddy's podcast that I did with him about naval dentistry. And that's how he got into dentistry and all these things. And it just shows you, like,
amazing.
Everything matters. Like,
yeah, bro.
What we say is way more important than we think.
Yeah,
because it has the ability to affect anybody.
Everything. Yeah, bro. That's how it starts. It starts from that thought. It starts from you actually taking action on that thought by speaking and then by acting on it. So, yeah, man. That's amazing, bro. That's
super cool.
That's how it's connected. And like a fun thing on top of that, you know what I sometimes do. Because like it's all about, like, we'll talk about connection and whatnot. Like, we don't realize how much power we have in terms of exposure, like just like in our phone, like for example Google Maps, right, dude? So we open Google Maps, what do we find? Coffee Bean, Starbucks, or our friend's place, whatever. You type it in, that's it. We have Google Maps. No, bro. You open up Google Maps, you zoom out, just look at the world map, go to Alaska, go to this one tiny little village all the way up north in Alaska, zoom in, find the closest pizza store there. Yeah. Call that pizza store and just have a conversation with them.
Have you done that?
Yeah. Really? Yeah, bro. Yeah, 100%. Or like freaking. Like,
why would you do that?
Because, dude, you have the power to call someone in Alaska and to ask how the life is out there, bro. That's the most craziest thing. Me and my girl, we'd like lay in bed, or whatever. We'd be like, yo, let's just call some people up in Alaska. It's the best. Cool. Bro. It's cool. I mean, it's fun, but in a way it shows you, look at the power that you have. It doesn't have to be Alaska. You could do wherever you want.
It's so powerful.
You could talk to someone and freaking like across the world and just like what's going on there? How is it? And then just
because we're just trapped in our lives right now.
Yeah. So that's like a cool little thing that we don't realize sometimes, but it's out there, right there. It's grasp with your hands. So man, it's amazing. I think it's an amazing time that we're living in right now. How old are you?
I'm 26.
26, nice. I'm 31.
Okay.
So like I feel like we like. This is how I felt. I came from like an era where internet was, just starting in a way, right?
Yeah.
And then we felt that change, and then the social media came about. So like, there's this huge shift that happened that we kind of experienced. Yeah. Like,
what was it? When did you get your first phone?
Oh, bro, that was like I was in Belgium. It was like, I don't know, like 15.
15?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I came kind of late with that because like in Georgia, like we didn't
have anything.
No, we didn't really have anything. I saw my first color TV in Belgium. You know what I'm saying? So like that was like a whole shift. But like. And
that's crazy to see that the progress of technology.
Yeah,
because with our, I don't know if you have like super young nieces or nephews or this and that, or family members, they grow up with they grow up with these iPads that they're just glued to.
They don't know how it was like a couple of not even like 10, 15 years back.
My dad had floppy disks and shit.
Yeah, bro, floppy disks. Yeah, so like it's an amazing time that we live in right now because like we have all these tools and this insane amount of power and in reach, and yeah, man, it's very exciting. I love the time we live in right now, to be honest.
I love it, and there's honestly no excuse now you could learn any skill that you want.
Yeah,
you could get good at anything you want. It just takes a lot of effort, discipline, and consistency.
Yeah. And for the same fact that the reach that we have right now and this exposure that we have right now will also like if you're not gonna be careful, will also make sure that you're not gonna
That
learn.
too.
Yeah, because you're getting lost, and as we said before, lost in the sauce,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be the same thing. So you're right, man. Discipline and sticking by your principles is gonna be crucial.
Yeah.
Whether you're in this age or in the age before, man, it just stays the same.
What's your favorite movie role or character that you've played?
Well, I mean, being part of that movie and playing a part like that for Patriots was obviously like
Yeah, but was that your favorite?
From a project perspective, in a way, yes, because it was so in depth, and there was a lot of how to say this? There was just a lot of factors involved. It was because there was a time of preparation. There was a lot of discussions, and it was a very I really enjoyed the whole process. But dude, I loved like working on Call of Duty, which I grew up on that freaking game.
Were you in the video game?
Yeah, Warzone.
Oh, one of my clients is on it.
Yeah.
His name is Reggie Watkins. Do you know who that is?
No, I don't know the name, but did he work on Warzone?
I think so.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. I mean, that was a lot of fun because this was like a game
so cool.
I was playing since I was a kid. So
That's
it was
crazy.
so awesome to be in it, and it was Warzone 2. That was like, that was when COVID, happened and it was lockdown. So everybody was playing that, all my friends. So we all got my own character. It was just fucking hilarious, man.
That's probably similar to the Patriots Today thing too. It's like everyone was like, no, wait,
yeah. But actually, to touch on that, so I did Off-Broadway in New York after my first year of school. I did Off-Broadway, and there was a character in there, Tony Saradze, in one of the shows that I was playing. That one was a very, very. That's actually like to go back to the favorite character, whatever. Yeah. That one was which.
What did you? What was that role?
Just in general, like theater, I think is really like where like the most, I don't know,
I think you have to feel your feelings more. It's like people are seeing it up and close and personal.
The adrenaline you get with theater is different than
I like plays.
movies.
I like watching plays.
Yeah.
There's something to, like, you can be on your phone on the couch watching TV.
Yeah.
No, there's no phones allowed in the theater. You're just
It's
forced
different,
to
right?
focus.
It's that one moment.
And
That's
see that one moment.
From moment
it's a beautiful
to moment.
thing.
It is, and that's how it all started, man. I love theater. I really love theater. So, being part of that, that was awesome because like I was playing a Russian Jew that was selling like shoelaces in the 1870s in New York.
And then you get to be that person in the 1870s.
Yeah, man.
And you do your research. And you become that person. That's so cool.
Yeah, exactly. And then you play this, drug junkie, addict who's on the street, handing out like flyers for a gay club in the 70s. So, it was a lot of fun in New York, and man, I just love like good writing. I love working with. I may have a character that's not as exciting, or that's maybe not even that big, or a huge role.
That's what I'm saying.
But working with a director or a cinematographer or a production company, that's releasing quality and good work.
Yeah.
That's what I love most about it, because again, like it's not about me, or it's not about you and your role. It's about the whole, it's about that project, right?
Project.
Yeah, it's the
like,
project
how can we
that
make
matters.
This the best project?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Can I play
key.
my part properly?
Yeah. Even if you have one line, you deliver that one line.
Perfectly.
That's one small contribution to that project, and let's move on. So I love working with people that have been in this industry longer than I have, so I can watch and I can learn. Yeah, 100%.
Do you read it all?
Oh, a lot. Yeah.
What books do you read?
I love like science fiction books. I love like just novels. I read all kinds of books. I've from like Jordan Peterson to
his book changed my life. That first one.
Did it really? 12 Rules.
12 Rules.
Wow.
It put me together. I was in pieces before, for sure.
Nice, man. Good for you, bro.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of stories in there that are very archetypal to how a man should conduct his life.
Yeah.
in a proper way.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Yeah. I remember when I was in Belgium, I tried listening to it as an audiobook.
Not as good.
It was hard because it's hard. It was easy. I was easy to get distracted. And it's a type of book that you really like. You focus in. Yeah. So I got the hard copy itself. So, dude, like Dune. Have you read Dune?
Mm-hmm.
Dude. Oh my God! Like,
I think the movie was good too.
Movie was good, of course. Yeah, the movie delivered, but it's not obvious. It's not supposed to be the same. Yeah. It's not about that. It's a different entity. But the book and the knowledge and just like the layers. Oh man, I cried at some parts of that book. It was that good.
I read around 50 books during COVID.
I think you said that last time.
I think we talked together.
50 books,
because
bro.
I didn't read anything.
You said that last time, yeah.
So I read all the Harry Potters. I read all the Lord of the Rings. I read all the Twilights, the 50 Shades of Grey. Basically every book all in there. I read everything.
Nice.
And I did the whole read the book, watch the movie thing. And,
nice.
Shed a lot of tears too, bro. Because I grew up not in a creative space. I didn't have anyone around me who wanted to be an actor. I didn't have, maybe the same way for you, I didn't have anyone around me who was, I guess, an artist. It was all like people who wanted to go to law school or be doctors and nurses and this and that. And it wasn't until I moved out here I was like, oh, like there are other people who just have crazy imaginations and want to do cool things and start a podcast or write a play or like create
suddenly
cocktails.
You're not alone, and there's
not alone. Mm-hmm. And like what you said about like people experiencing the areas of like movies or in the industry. I was like, I've been around some of the best bartenders in LA who've been bartending for 20 years, and they've bartended in Rome and Italy and in New York and Boston. I was like, oh, I'm around these people. Like I can grow from them. This is so cool. Like they live this whole different lifestyle that I didn't think was possible.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's such a cool thing.
It is, dude. It is. And look, like you took the initiative.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? You took
it.
that. Yeah. That's how it all starts, man.
It's a beautiful thing. It's cool.
Yeah.
What's your favorite workout movement, and what do you think is the most important workout movement?
That's a good question. Well, okay. Just from like generally speaking, I think nothing beats swimming in terms of health, in terms of muscle engagement and fluidity. Nothing beats swimming. Mm-hmm. You know, you can't even when you're injured. Not in all cases, obviously, but even when you have
do a lot of movements
injury,
in the water,
you still are able to do a lot of movements in the water, which and out of the water you won't be able to do. But in terms of movement, oh man, there's so many.
I know you do a lot. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like how to choose.
Yeah. So I like this. This is what I like. I like respecting each part of my body as its own kind of like a tool, and then understanding that the movement happens by combining this tool as one. So you could have, for example, a push-up, right? You're gonna have a push-up, but if you can execute one push-up, like just with the solid form, solid posture, you breathe in, you breathe out. That one push-up, that's it right there. You know, you could do 10 push-ups with a weak form, but if you could do one push-up with the right form, like that's the movement right there. That's the the answer to your question, you know.
Yeah,
and
the most important.
It doesn't have to be a push-up. You pull up. You could do one pull-up. Just straight, perfect. That's it. That's the key. You could do kettlebell swing. One kettlebell swing. Perfect, you know, perfect. That's it, man. Now you're on the, okay. Now one. Okay, now let's make 2 out of that, and 3 and 4. So I think in terms of that, I think any movement can be, the best, as long as you do it the best. As long as you do it with the right, posture and with the right engagement of your body. And the thing is, like, and this is just me. I don't necessarily look at it when I go work out. I don't go working out. I don't work out like, let's work out. I like to, and there's nothing wrong with that, I'm saying. But I like to look at it as training of your body. We forget, and this is why a lot of people, they I have a hard time going to the gym because it's like, oh, I have to go to the gym. I have to work out. It's all a shift in the perspective in a way that you're not working out. You're not, in the gym working. You're training your body. This body that you're gifted from you when you were a baby, and the gift that you've forgotten about yourself, what your body can do. Once people unlock that, and this is my personal experience, obviously, once people unlock the idea of like not just working out and just getting your sets and your reps in, but like the idea of like I'm training my body to, in a way, do what it's what it's made for,
or capable of doing.
Capable of doing. There's nothing more encouraging, motivating, and incredible feeling than that. Than knowing that your body, right, that wasn't able to do, let's say even like 10 push-ups or 10 pull-ups, after this commitment to the training, now your body is, and once the people that I work with.
If you could articulate real quick, what's the difference between working out and training? Like if you could specify.
Okay, so it's not necessarily what's the difference. It's what's the story that working out is telling to the individual. Now for you and me, there is no difference. Working out, we work out, we train. But for a lot of people that are not as educated or that are not as invested into health and fitness, working out is going to the gym, get on the treadmill, 3 sets of 12, and looking at it from a very technical and a very unappealing way. But when you look at it from a training, now you're training your body the same way as you're training your mind, the same way as you're training yourself to be better at bartending, the same way as you're training yourself to read 50 books. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're training to like you're training a skill almost. When you're in the gym, you're working out. Yes, you're doing your sets of 3 and whatever, but you're training to get better at that. You see what I'm saying? So I like to look at it from that point of view.
Aspect,
Because it all starts from the mind, right? It all starts from the mind. Once you realize that whoever you are, you have this body. You have not in all cases obviously, but you have 2 arms, you have 2 legs, or you have 1 arm, you have 1 leg. You adapt to that. There's this gift of progress that is within you, as long as you could commit to that. And everybody actually deserves to feel that growth, with training of their own body. And dude, like it's, for example, I work with some of my clients. Like this was one gentleman who's like 55. He's never jumped rope in his life. We started, he could not do 1 jump rope. I mean, it was almost like impossible to him, the idea that I'm gonna jump rope at my age, with my weight, with my deconditioned state. Dude, he's doing plus 100 jump ropes now.
Let's go.
And just look, what did he make? Millions of dollars? Did he make? No, nothing. But the fact that his body was trained and trained to do that feeling, man, that's priceless. You know what I mean? And that's how it starts. So I think that there's a big perception of what we have to do, as in like, oh, I have to get fit, I have to lose weight, I have to. It's like, it's not about that. It's about like the gift that that you were given to have this body, this machine, this tool, and that's just like training in the gym. But like I said, it could be training into bartending, like nailing the freaking gold rush. You know what I'm saying? It could be anything. So I like just sharing that perspective.
I like that perspective, because that is what you articulating it that way is the way I train. Meaning, I don't love working out, but I like getting good at things. Right. Meaning, like, for example, it was for that powerlifting meet to get really strong. And so training up to getting really strong in those compound movements. Right now, like, I have this goal of training to be able to do 50 pull-ups unbroken and straight. That's my goal. Like, that's my skill that I want to get good at. You know? And the reason why I continue to work out is because I have this this mentality to train to get good at that thing.
Correct.
You know, and for you, it was. I remember I showed you that the jump rope, the throw.
Oh yeah, the mic release.
Yeah, and you thought it was super cool. You never saw it before when I show you.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna figure it out. And you spent 2 weeks on your ass trying to figure that shit out. And it's not necessarily that you just like wanted to suck at it for 2 weeks, but you wanted to get that skill down. Dude, you're like, I'm gonna do it until I fucking get this shit.
Oh, it was the best feeling. That's it, exactly. I trained for it. You know what I'm saying? And it was the best feeling to once you got that click and you boom, you back into that flow. It was amazing. Yeah. So thanks for that, bro. I have
of course.
You know, I'm glad you showed me that video that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you like about helping other people in terms of fitness? Because there's some joy that I get from someone who has a goal of losing weight or not being able to move their body to now they can, to that guy not being able to jump rope and now he can. That probably did so much for you. Like, how can you describe that? What does helping people in the fitness, like in that fitness world, do for you?
Yeah, and I think you know, in this question could be applied to like not just fitness, right? Life, right? Yeah, I think it's somewhat it would be a shame as a human being to be able to share something like that with someone else and to not share that. That would be almost like a shame, because it's almost more rewarding and it feels better that I can pass on a certain amount of knowledge or a certain amount of like skill to someone else that wasn't able to do than me learning myself. For example, you asked me if I can, you know, teach you the mic release. Me, you know, teaching you mic release will give me more satisfaction than me, you know, doing it myself. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
And then we could do a cool video together, guys,
yeah,
and everyone could see it.
Straight up, bro. So I think that's what it is. It's like almost kind of like a human, I don't know, I wouldn't say obligation, but like it's like it's I don't know, I think it's just like a human nature to share. I mean, the reason that we all got here and the fact that we have societies and schools and this certain you know, this system that and many flaws works is because we passed on the knowledge, and it's because we passed on things that worked and that didn't work, and we filtered we filtered through it. So that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like an obligation in a way to pass that on, right? To share with someone that is not capable of, like, you know, doing any kind of movement in the gym. So that on its own is, to me, it's always been amazing. I love rediscovering the process of training or of learning with someone that hasn't, you know, done it yet. Or for example, The Sopranos, my favorite all-time TV show. I can watch it with someone that hasn't watched it any given time, bro. I've watched it like 10 times already. You know, and I've watched it with my brother, with my friends that haven't watched it, and it's the same thing. It's the same satisfaction I'm getting. I'm sitting there, I'm just watching them, watching Sopranos, and it's just the best. And
you're like, I'm happy that they're getting the joy that I did back then when I watched it.
Dude. So that's what it is, man. So I think it's the same thing, you know. It's and then us as personal trainers, fitness instructors, we're, you know, it's a gift, man. It's and you know. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I think
it's a responsibility too, because someone's trusting you with their body.
Yeah.
Right. And it's better to prevent problems versus fix problems.
Yeah.
So like doctors fix you. What if you never needed to be fixed?
You know? Yeah. Oh, that's great, man. Yeah, I agree.
You know.
Yeah.
And that's why when we talk to the value about it, like why people charge so much for personal training. It's because of that.
Yeah.
I was like, man, would you rather pay $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 for a knee surgery, or would you be able to want to rehab your knees and grow the strength around them to be able to do things and never be injured?
Yeah. You know? Yeah, you're right, bro.
You're right. You take at it from that perspective.
Yeah, and especially today, where, you know, everything is solved with a pill, or everything is solved with an injection, and that's, you know, if I don't get that, you know, things are off.
The amount of clients who have spent thousands of dollars on shots in their stomach just to lose weight, I'm like, come on.
It's rough, man.
It's like the quick fix. It's not quick. It is hard.
Yeah, it is hard. It is, and that's the thing about it, that you're not only there to, like, you're not growing muscles, you're not growing just your quads, you're growing here too, you know what I mean? You're growing a mental state of mind, and, you know, like, you hear it all the time. you wake up early, you do a hard workout, you run or you swim or you do a whole kettlebell
Your brain
routine.
is clear.
Yeah, and then you go into the shower, and then boom, it's like 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. and you're freaking ready. Nothing can stop you at that point, So
I'm on.
Yeah, you're on, man. Like the hardest part is done, you know. So it just plays on so many things, and dude, it doesn't even have to be like rigorous, like full pull up or calisthenic routine.
You walk.
Go hike, go walk, man. Go walk.
Walking's underrated.
Yeah, 100% underrated. Go uphill for like, I don't know, for like a half a mile, and then that's it, bro. Like you're gonna, if you don't even have to go fast, just go uphill.
Just go uphill.
Yeah,
walk uphill. That's hard.
Yeah, that's it, man. So that on its own is as your pill right there, as your injection. That's the prevention right there. So yeah, man, I think it's incredible, and I think especially this city is very health aware, and the fitness and health is so big, I would say. And like for example, like I go back to
compared to New York.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, how is it in New York?
At least when I went, they don't care as much from what I understand. I definitely have friends who work out there, but their excuse to me is like, yo, we wear suits all day.
Right.
We're not at the pool. It's not. But I know that like there's fitness is big there, but there's there's a gym, there's multiple gyms on every block here, man.
Yeah, and you have like those mom and pop type of gyms, right? Like just kind of like popped up out of nowhere. Yeah, so like that's awesome, dude. That's and I love that about this city. Like I go back to Bruges in Belgium, for example, and obviously you have gyms and you have personal trainers. A lot of my friends are in that industry. Yeah, but it's it's small. Yeah. It's not as at this scale. Yeah. So and then you have so much knowledge at your disposal on social media. Sure. Yeah, bro.
You can learn anything.
You can learn anything, man. It's incredible how much I've learned, on just like by watching and listening to other people and other people that are more knowledgeable about certain, aspects of fitness. Exactly. So, yeah, man, it's I'm really, and it's something that I'm passionate about. I think like for creative artists, it's hard to sometimes, like, for example, bro, like, it's commercials and TV shows and Patriots Day and movies and Mark Wahlberg, but bro, ain't nobody calling me. Ain't nobody telling me, yo, Themo, we need you on this, $100 million budget movie. No, bro, I still got to do auditions. I still got to go out there, get my face known, especially now, dude, there are no,
it's a workout.
It's you always got to adapt. So it's hard to sometimes find, income and way of being busy, which is not something necessarily like your first passion, right? So and in my situation, I love that I can do something that I'm passionate about, which all right, I can't be on a set every day. I can't work on a project every day. I'm still doing something that I love and that I'm passionate about, and that I'm as creative as I am with acting. So
you make fitness creative, bro. The stuff that you've been posting, it's like it all comes from your brain.
Yeah. I like thinking like that. I like making it.
It's
very
an
creative.
art. I mean, it is an art. You're sculpting your body.
Yeah.
Dude, in the way that you get to decide what your body looks like by the movements that you do.
That's what I'm saying. See, that's what I'm saying, bro. Yeah. Exactly. Like you have this gift of like sculpting your own body. Like so much respect to all the like bodybuilders that go through this rigorous amount of training and dedication, and not just bodybuilders, anybody that's on that level.
Ultra marathon runners,
yeah, bro. Oh
or
my god,
Ironman people,
incredible.
Or skier, anything that dedicate
man.
Like their time and energy into their sport or whatever they're doing.
Yeah, so that's that, and that's it, man. That's that's inspiring to me. That's motivating to me, and I love seeing and I love observing someone that is just excelling in their own discipline, and something that it's
inspiring.
Yeah, it's like, for example, like fencing. I can watch someone fencing and I'm like, damn.
I haven't heard about fencing in a while.
Yeah, dude. And it's like a split second and boom, it's done.
Fencing in the movie. I want to see you fence in a movie.
Dude, I love sword work. Yeah, I've never fenced, but I'm pretty flexible with like
your
swords.
Nunchucks are pretty good.
Yeah. As a kid, I would love. I was always like into like weapons and shit like that. So, but yeah, man. So like I love like dude, like earlier, you're talking to me. You were not even thinking about you're bartending, the steps. You were just doing it. I mean, if you had asked me, I was, I don't know, bro. Like, I'll pour you some water and some lemon. You know what I'm saying? You were doing it effortlessly. Yeah. I love that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And in any way you can get inspired. Sure. As long as you allow yourself to. You allow yourself to get inspired. And man. So it's good stuff.
Love that. What are you most excited for in your life right now?
Most excited, honestly, bro. Like my mom is gonna come out in December.
Love that.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it matters. That's all that matters, bro.
That's so
honestly,
cool. It's the first
that's
time?
it. Yeah. That's all that matters. Like,
you show her around?
Yeah, like my mom's gonna come out and she's gonna meet my girl's parents, and she's gonna be here, and we're gonna be all together, and she can kind of like get a taste of how it is for me to be here.
She doesn't know what your life is like.
Yeah,
she only knows the stories.
Yeah. So that is what's most exciting for me. And on top of that, like my brother, who's been just incredible. He's been inspiring me to the fullest, man. Like I felt so lazy being back there. I was like, damn, I can't be touring with you now. I gotta do my own stuff. You know what I mean?
Work on my shit.
Yeah. And I saw him, and he was killing it, and it was amazing, man. So
what's his DJ name?
Radze. Yeah,
okay.
I'll share you some stuff for him, bro. Yeah, good stuff.
And
then on top of that, like I told you, my friends that came out, a month ago. Yeah, that was a goal. That was like a childhood goal of me to like be here with the homies and just cruise and just have fun and just chill and just be in America and in California, and then that's what we did. So like that's very exciting to me that I'm able to do all that now. And my mom coming out here, and then hopefully next year my dad's gonna come out too with my sister. So dude, that's
sharing.
Yeah, bro. That's what matters. That's what matters.
But back to what we talked about with like fitness and everything. It's it's a better feeling when you get to share it with people.
It's the best. Yeah. And that's what it is. It's like I've been here in LA and I've been in Cali and I've been in so many situations. I've met so many people and it's just been amazing. But dude, when I was here with my friends and when I was watching them, do Cali things, getting in and out together. Yeah.
It's like, damn, these guys are so having
That's
fun.
it. Yeah. Nothing's better than when you're doing things that you love, doing it with like people that you love.
That's my definition of happiness, bro.
Yeah, that's it. I agree.
Doing what you want to do when you want to do it with the people who you want to do it with.
Yeah. I agree, bro. I agree. And so yeah, man, I'm very excited about that. They haven't been out here yet. She hasn't been out to the US, period. So it's gonna be a big,
That's super cool.
Kind of like a big aha moment for her. So because she was always like, when I was back home, I'm like, Mom, I'm gonna go to the US. I'm gonna do it. She's like, yeah. Jump first and then say I jumped. Yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna jump. I'll tell you. I'll do it. So now I done it. So, yeah.
And she's like,
right. Now she's like, oh damn, man. Now I gotta, she's gotta come over here and check it out. So
was she always supportive?
Yeah. Both my parents, bro. Both my parents. Like that's another thing. Like I'm so blessed. Like, and all my friends, really, everybody was like, when I told them that. But there was also a way of, like, the reason that they were supportive is because, like, dude, I was obsessed. Yeah. I wasn't joking around. You know what I mean? I was real. And
I mean, you could hear it in your voice, dude. The way you talk about the things that you're passionate about, even just like on this podcast right now, it's totally believable.
Yo, because
it makes me want to believe in everything you're saying. 100%.
Yeah, man. And I wish that for everybody, bro. I wish that for everybody because it's possible. You know what I mean? It really is possible.
I mean, you're living proof of it.
Yeah, man. And it's not gonna be easy. It's not, and it won't, it won't be like, oh, now I made it. That's it. Now it's gonna be, just fresh linen silk suits and smoothie, whatever. No, none of that. So
avocado toast.
It's always gonna be. There's always gonna be something that you have to overcome. There's always gonna have to be a way that you're gonna have to adapt. And as I'm saying this, I'm aware of things that I still have to adapt and things that I still have to improve on and things that I'm lazy about and things that I know that I should have done and I didn't do. You know what I mean? So it's always a process. I don't think that ever stops, So yeah, man. So I always got that support from them. Even though my mom, she was very, very sad that I was leaving. She didn't want to believe it at first, and then eventually, like, it became more real and
I'm
more
leaving
real.
tomorrow, Mom.
Yeah. That's literally how it happened, dude. That's literally how it happened. I'm like, I bought my ticket. Yeah. So Yeah, man. So I'm forever thankful for anybody and everybody that supported me, and I'm forever thankful for people that didn't support me, because here I am.
There you go.
Yeah. So
that's motivation too.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
that's always motivated me too. When someone said I couldn't do something, I was just like, you could either believe that or work so hard that to prove them wrong.
Yeah.
You know? And it's not in a malicious standpoint. You're just like, I'm gonna prove it by my actions.
Yeah, definitely. And there's no offense taken. You know, it's you need to be doubted so that you can overcome it. It needs to happen. You know, it's not just gonna be just silver plates and just like go ahead and just walk the walk. No, you need to you need people that are gonna doubt you. You need people that are not gonna believe in you. So because that's the process to I think your own success. That's the process to your own your own goals and whatever. So and that man, and that does not end. It continues.
I was gonna close up with that. I was gonna ask, like, what advice do you have to all those I guess younger Themos out there who like have that dream of becoming an actor in a different country, and they just don't know where to start, and they don't have a game plan. There is no plan, but they're hungry. They love movies. They love like Hollywood, like all the stuff that they're seeing, and they just don't know where to start. What's your advice to them?
Man, like, yeah, if you believe what you're saying, if you're saying it in your pitch and your voice, right? If that is giving you this feeling, that's, I don't know, they'll know what I'm talking about. The people that are real, they'll know what I'm talking about. Then you got to go for it. That's it. Because what do you actually have to lose other than the fact that you want to go for your dream? I mean, or you want to go for what you want in this life, right? I think that's the most important thing to express for yourself is what do I want? You know, what do I want to do? And if that's truly what you want, for example, movies and acting and all that, that is great. But you need to be ready for that other part that is not great, and you got to love that the same way that you're gonna love the good stuff and the
you gotta love every process.
You gotta love every process of it, and then it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be good. You're gonna fail. You're gonna suck. It's not gonna be it's not gonna be great. But you keep going at it, and you believe in the words that you tell yourself, or you believe that the words you speak out into the world. And you believe in it the same way you believe in your name and your identity and your and who you are. And sometimes you may not know who you are. You know what I mean? And a lot of situations, that's how it is. But that's the process. That's the process. So there is no universal advice. Somebody may be listening to me and be like, this guy's just crack a shit. I don't get it. Good. I hope you will get it. I hope you will find your way, because you know what? You'll probably write for yourself. Maybe this doesn't work for you. Maybe there's another way. But as long as you believe in what you're saying, that's what matters, I would say that, man. Like, know that your word has volume. Your word, it could start with easy as like one single word. It has volume. It has power. That's how everything starts, man. That's how change is made. That's how revolutions are made. That's how World War II is ended. Everything starts with that belief and that
not just not just those results in the real world and objectively, but within yourself. Yeah, 100%, exactly. Within yourself, because that's where everything starts, within your mind and within your soul, and doesn't matter if you're religious or not. That's all up to you. It's just believe in what you feel, but follow your instincts. Follow your instincts, and many times your instincts may give you the sense of fear, but they usually point in the right direction.
Yeah, they usually point in the right direction, man. And it's going to be up to you to have the courage enough and to have the guts to act on them.
Jump.
Yeah. And not everyone will, and that's okay too, because that's just how this universe works, man. Yeah. So, but whoever will, you're gonna have a good time. You're gonna have a good time.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Where can everyone find you?
On Instagram, at Themojan, Themo, Themojn.
Cool.
And that's it. I'm not
So
on
what
too
gym?
many social medias.
What gym do you train at?
Results Studios in Sherman Oaks. Come find us.
All right, guys, go check them out there if you guys want to go work out with Themo.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get a workout in. You ready?
Hell yeah, I'm ready, bro.
Let's freaking do this. All right, see you guys. Have a good one.
Peace.
Bye.